I wasn't there in the scrum. I've only watched it on video. I was surprised that he would handle it like that. This was a response to what Rex Ryan said, and this was a reaction to that. And we have to sometimes remember that these are very, very young men. People come into the NFL with different levels of maturity. These are young guys, and not all of them speak the same way. And some of them, I think, just have different personalities too. I don't think Shedeur meant any harm.
Rex Ryan thought he was just firing off another spicy take until Mary Kay swooped in like a mom at a PTA meeting defending her kid's reputation. Only this time, it wasn't her son, it was Shedeur Sanders she was going to bat for. 1 minute Rex is cracking jokes, the next he's realizing he picked the wrong fight as the internet anoints Mary the undisputed MVP of sports drama. So buckle up, this isn't just a debate anymore, it's a viral comedy special in real time.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's all right, Rex.
Yeah, when he came out, did we win? We needed that.
Yeah.
As fans, we needed it. I mean, this guy is a legend. A legend. You talk about a fighter? Yeah. Dang right, he's a fighter. He's a dang legend. Thank you. I needed it as a dad, as a coach, and as a fan of this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you don't apologize.
Rex Ryan just strapped on his verbal cleats, hit live TV, and went straight for Shedeur Sanders' neck. What was supposed to be a critique turned into a full-blown disaster because seconds later, Mary Kay stepped in and torched him with pinpoint, fiery precision.
Stefanski is an outstanding coach, all right? But why the hell isn't he putting Shedeur Sanders? We're all waiting to see the Shedeur Sanders be the guy or Gabriel, whatever. Something's missing. Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks. He runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that. If I know, the whole league knows. Quit being an embarrassment that way. You got the talent to be the quarterback. You should be. You should be embarrassed that you're not the quarterback now.
Let's break down how a veteran analyst got humbled midair, why Shedeur's miming move was deeper than people think, and how Mary Kay flipped a wild moment into a masterclass in perspective. Buckle up, this one's packed with sarcasm, truth bombs, and enough fire to melt opinions.
Shedeur is a dynamic player. He's got a lot of personality. He has done a lot of things right here. He's working really, really hard to come up the learning curve. And this is the first time in his life and his career that he's had to be a backup. And it's difficult. He's trying to be patient. He's trying to do the right things. But it cannot be easy for him to believe that he can go out there and start football games and have to be the third string quarterback right now.
First things first, what actually went down? You've probably seen the clip by now. Shedeur, the third-string quarterback, strolls into a media scrum. Cameras flashing. Reporters crowding in. And then, silence. He doesn't say a word. Instead, he lets his hands do the talking, some mix of gestures, signals, and that "I hear you, but I'm not engaging" energy. Within minutes, the internet loses its mind.
Rex Ryan, when I got aware, I did the homework on him a long time ago though, and because he was always loud as the Jets coach, and he's always predicted that they was going to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. Every year, this is the year we're going to do it. This is the year we're going to do it. This is the year we're going to do it. And you just brought that up, Mike, in your tape. Nigga, you loud, Rex. As a coach, you're loud as a coach, and especially as a commentator, you're very loud and you take bold takes. So when Mace asks, was it clout chasing? I don't think it's clout chasing, this is just what he do.
Of course, someone had to fire back. Enter Rex Ryan, the man who's never met a microphone he didn't like, especially when there's a target in sight. He jumps on national TV and unloads on Shedeur, not just questioning his play, but taking shots at his character, his demeanor, the way he handles attention. It stops being analysis and turns into something personal. That's when someone with more sense and more credibility steps in. Mary Kay. Not a random voice online, but a respected reporter who's been in the NFL trenches for years. She doesn't just defend Shedeur. He threw out assumptions, painted with broad strokes, and made it personal. That's where Mary Kay's response landed hardest, because she called out the noise. If you've got facts, bring them. If not, don't sell opinions as truth. Boom. Just like that, she flipped the script. Rex wasn't just loud, he was exposed.
So, Rex Ryan, who used to be a coach, who is now on ESPN, has a little viral video that's going around.
This kid Toxie, right?
Well, what caught my attention, Auntie Shar's attention, is when he said that he should be embarrassed for not being the starting quarterback. Well, when Shedeur was back there like this, maybe he was back there saying, well, you won't put me in. You want to keep playing with me, and I told you what I can do. Maybe he wasn't back there going, they won't put me in. You really don't know what was going through his head. If he didn't tell you what he was talking about, then how would you know? Because to me, when a quarterback sits there and says, I know I can play better than these quarterbacks that's playing there, I don't think that they sitting back there.
Then Mary Kay cuts even deeper. She says the miming? It wasn't random. It wasn't some immature tantrum. She reframes it entirely. Shedeur knows the gravity of his name, his brand, his destiny. He understands that every word he speaks will be clipped, dissected, debated, and replayed across social media. So when he chooses silence, when he mimes, it might be his way of refusing to hand out free ammunition while still making a statement on his own terms. Mary Kay even shares a gem from training camp. Another player was at the podium, cameras rolling, reporters everywhere. Did it land the way he hoped? Not at all. The miming became a bigger story than anything Dylan Gabriel said. That irony is the twist in the tale. But context matters. As Mary Kay notes, missteps happen. Youth doesn't come with perfect instincts. You take a risk, it backfires, the spectacle grows, but that doesn't mean the intent was careless or naive.
I do want to reiterate real quick what Shedeur said, and I know I said it, but I just want to be clear because all Shedeur said basically to ESPN Cleveland that he was ready to play right now. And he said, if you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that. So I know we talked about Rex Ryan's comments, and then we've just seen the media criticize a lot of what Shedeur does. But why do you think, Mike, and I'll let you go first, people have such a problem with that statement?
I'm baffled. I'm baffled. If he said anything else, we would jump on it and be all over him like, well, how come you don't have any confidence? That's why you're not playing. So each man, every man that's not on the football field, every man in the National Football League has to believe that he is good enough to play in the National Football League.
Shedeur's situation magnifies everything. He's not just any backup, he's Deion Sanders' son, a former Heisman contender, a player who arrived with pedigree and pressure. So, finding himself as QB3 in the NFL? That's a jolt. 1 minute you're the face of a program, the next you're holding a clipboard, learning in silence. Mary Kay nailed it, that inner battle is real. Believing in your talent while the depth chart says otherwise, that messes with your head. Every critique, every headline, every throwaway comment hits different. It's not just noise anymore, it's weight. But here's the thing, Shedeur's not slacking. He's grinding, learning, staying ready. So was Rex Ryan out of bounds? Pretty much. Critique the play, sure. But take shots at someone's character without real evidence? That's asking to get called out. Mary Kay's reminder was spot on. Where's the accountability for the loudest voices? Do they get a free pass just because they've got a mic? And let's be honest, expecting perfection from a young player still finding his footing is unfair. Especially when he's under a microscope. Analysts miss, too. They fumble takes, misread situations, and move on. But when it's Shedeur, every slip turns into a headline.
This whole Shedeur Sanders saga is a lose-lose situation. He gets interviewed and he gives a thoughtful answer and he actually answers the question. Then we're nitpicking, not we, but the media's nitpicking and trying to find something wrong out of that. And then when he does this, says nothing at all, obviously trolling Rex Ryan for his comments, people come out and say he's a child, he's immature, this is why he slipped in the draft. I get what he was doing, right? He was trying to say, when I say something, you guys hate it, right? So I'm not going to say anything at all. He was trolling Rex Ryan. But in my opinion, I don't agree with this Shedeur. I mean, they're going to like and hate you anyway. Just be you. Because with the antics, all you're doing is proving the haters right. See? This is why he can't be trusted.
When a young prospect has one strange moment, The headlines explode, memes spread, commentary cuts deep. That imbalance matters. Let's break down the miming move itself, genius or misstep. Likely a mix of both. He achieved something almost nobody else could. He turned silence into noise, made quiet speak. Intriguing. But in doing so, he lost control of the moment. Visual ambiguity leaves interpretation wide open, and in the media world, ambiguity is dangerous. Here's the duality: on one side, it's bold, unorthodox, even uncomfortable. It forces people to stop and wonder, what's he thinking? Then there's the teammate angle. According to Mary Kay, Shedeur might have held back to avoid stealing Dillon Gabriel's spotlight. Words dominate headlines, after all. Perhaps it was humility, or at least awareness, a silent olive branch to the narrative. But once again, it backfired. The mimicry became the headline. Irony, at its finest.
And when Cleveland fans and certain NFL front offices are tired of Shedeur Sanders, that message doesn't come from out of the sky. Somebody wanted Rex to say it, and Rex delivered it eloquently. It went viral, and guys, I gotta tell you, the evidence that they used supporting it put Shedeur in a bad position. This isn't just Rex going rogue. This is TV, guys. It's narrative. It's business. ESPN is feeding the same energy. The NFL is already putting out there. ESPN is a huge major media partner with the NFL. The NFL puts out there what they want ESPN to say.
Now we have a young man caught between identity and expectation, between boldness and restraint. On the sidelines, a veteran analyst misfires, a reporter steps in, and a single moment explodes into debate. That's drama. That's why we're watching. Zooming out, this speaks to bigger themes. Young athletes consumed by media, personalities judged for every word, critics wielding platforms like weapons, misjudgment stalling momentum. It's also a lesson in managing public heat. Sometimes, absorbing the pressure is strategic, but only if others understand what you're absorbing. Did Mary Kay win this round? She swung hard. She reframed the story, offered insight, demanded accountability. She made Rex look rash, loud, unsteady. The narrative shifted from kid behaving weirdly to kid navigating impossible optics. That pivot has many now rethinking who's really at fault.
He made it seem that way. And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who believe that what he's saying to be true, because that's the exact sort of narrative around Shedeur that is reportedly why he got drafted in the 5th round and wasn't a day 2 pick at the very least, because they don't think his attitude was very good. But what's interesting is when you talk to Shedeur, when you hear the Browns talk about Shedeur, all you sort of see is a guy who's out there, during training camp. He was out there early on the field. He was out there late after practice. He talks about how, all the things he's learned, how, yes, he would prefer to be starting, but that, what he's doing right now, he's learned a lot from, and he's continuing to show up every day, and he's leaving it in God's hands, whatever the situation's going to be.
Will Rex apologize? Will he defend himself? Maybe not publicly. Yet the backlash simmers beneath the surface. In silence, reputations quietly shift. When someone in their 60s targets a 20-something who hasn't even played, the optics are merciless. So, what's next for Shedeur? Timing is everything. Silence can be safe, but talking isn't always wiser. Speak too soon, and you misstep, wait too long, and the moment passes. Master that balance, and you navigate the storm. Stumble, and you learn. That's the NFL story: mistakes, rebounds, comebacks. The miming misfired, sure, but it also made people take notice. More than most backups ever get. Where does that leave us? Shedeur isn't out. The story isn't finished.
All right, so the most shocking news of the week for me, pleasantly shocking. Joe Flacco, as I call him, out as Cleveland starter. What? Blown away by that. Wait. They just upset Micah Parsons, Green Bay Packers. It was the upset of the century at Cleveland just a week ago. And now Flacco's out? I get it. They went and got blown out at Detroit, but Detroit, as I just mentioned, hottest team in pro football.
Rex Ryan probably thought he was walking into just another routine sports talk segment, same old takes, maybe a couple of jokes, and call it a day. But nope, the universe had other plans. He strolled in like it was casual Friday, flip-flops and all, only to get blindsided. Out of nowhere, Mary Kay stormed in like someone had just tagged her on social media with "Shedeur ain't that guy." And trust me, in 2025, you do not underestimate Mary Kay with a microphone and a reason to speak. Mary Kay wasn't having any of it. She defended Shedeur with the intensity of a PR team, attorney, and life coach rolled into one. And poor Rex? He looked like someone just yanked the Wi-Fi from his brain mid-sentence. Mary Kay tore in, passionately explaining that Shedeur was simply owning the moment, expressing himself, and doing exactly what athletes have always done, celebrate.
I see a guy that seems to be doing things all the right way, but Rex is implying something very different, and it's almost like this question of, is Shedeur to blame for not being ahead of Dylan Gabriel on the depth chart? Is he to blame for not being as ready as he said last week he thinks he is to potentially be a starting quarterback in this league?
The whole quote was so strange. Like, the whole, if I know the whole league knows, did somebody inside Berea give that to Rex Ryan? That's what I really want to know. And I know that I'll never get that answer.
Mary Kay insisted the miming wasn't disrespect, it was performance art, with cleats. Meanwhile, Rex sat blinking at the camera, probably questioning if he'd accidentally wandered onto a TED Talk about emotional expression in sports. By the time Mary Kay wrapped up, social media had already crowned her the unofficial spokesperson for Team Shedeur. The internet never sleeps, and this exchange quickly became the comedy event of the week. Rex didn't just lose the argument, he lost the internet. And the kicker? Shedeur never said a word, yet somehow made more noise than a fire alarm in a popcorn factory. That's pure star power. Mary Kay, on the other hand, was riding high on her digital victory, effortlessly defending Shedeur with the kind of confidence that can't be taught. It comes from knowing you're right while someone else is just talking to hear themselves.
First of all, ESPN is at fault. All of them are at fault because of this man right here. A lot of people don't like Shedeur, and Rex Ryan is one of those people, but stating that he's not in the meeting room, and there's the pictures. All of these pictures flooded the internet the very same day, proving Rex Ryan wrong.
The more Rex tried to backpedal, the funnier it became. You could practically watch regret etch itself across his face in real time. His expression screamed, "I could have just said great game and moved on," but nope. By the end of the show, Rex wasn't debating, he was surviving. That look, the one every sports analyst knows too well, when you realize the internet is about to roast you for the next 48 hours straight. One player, one celebration, and suddenly sports analysts are channeling philosophers and life coaches mid-broadcast. The miming? It's no longer just about football. It's a metaphor. A movement. A masterclass in saying everything without uttering a word. And for Rex Ryan, it's a lesson he'll never forget. Sometimes, the loudest guy in the room is the one who said nothing at all.